Hello, and welcome to 5-Minute Math. Today we are looking at the 6th grade concept of wholes, parts, and percents. This is 6.5b Readiness Practice, the Proficient version. If you're interested in exploring the 6.5b Readiness Practice for the intermediate or advanced versions, or the Readiness Practice resource along with any other standard, you can find those by using the link in the video description. So we have $150 raised, and that was 30% of their fundraising goal. So this gives us a part and the percent, and we're looking for the whole. Okay, so let's look at it this way. $150 out of our unknown whole, and that equals 30%, right? $150 out of whatever the total is we're looking for, that's 30%. Well, let's reimagine our 30% as 30 over 100, because percent means per 100. And if we look at our 30% as 30 hundredths, or 30 per 100, well, now we have a proportion that we could use. Okay, so we can cross multiply like this. Probably would be a little bit quicker if we went ahead and just divided the 3 and the 10, or the 30 and the 100 by 10 to make 3/10. So now we need to think, all right, so 150 times uh, this 10 right here, we can think of cross multiplication. 150 times 10 is going to equal this 3 times our unknown number. So that's 1500 equals 3 times what? So 3 sets of what make 1500? Well, we could divide 1500 by 3, and what we would get is we would get 500. 500, 1000, 1500. Okay, so it looks like our unknown number, our whole, is going to equal 500. So we could say the total fundraising goal, if we want to just make our answer very clear, was, and then let's put our answer here in the correct units, $500. They raised 150 out of the 500, and that was the 30%. All right, so now we have number 2, 240 pages, and she's read 60%. How many pages has she read, and how many pages are left? So we're given the whole and the percent, and we're looking for the part. Okay, so there's a few different ways we could look at this. We could say 60% of that 240. And when we're taking a percent of something, right, we can think that's multiplication. And we can think of our 60% as 60 over 100, or we can look at it as 6/10, or honestly, in this case, it might be easiest to think of it as 0.6. So let's multiply. 0.6, and that's going to be 0, that's going to be 24, that's 12, that's 14. Now, I've got one digit behind the decimal, so I need one digit behind the decimal. So we can say 60% of that is she has read 144 pages and has, let's figure out how many pages she has left. I can do two things. I could take my 240 and I can subtract the 144, or if we want to, we know that 100% is the entire book. If 60% is read, then we know that 40%, because that's the other part, is going to be unread. So I could take my 240 and I can multiply by 0.4. I'm going to get the same thing either way. There are two different ways to get to the same answer. So let's do both. It's going to be 6, that's 9, and it's going to be 96. It has 96 pages left. So you can do quite a few ways to get that extra amount of pages. Number 3, we've got 32 students taking a test, 24 students passed the test. What percentage of students passed the test? We've got the whole, we've got the part. So let's look at it as a fraction. 24 students passed out of 32 whole. Let's divide this by 4s. and we're going to get 6, and then we are going to get 8. All right, so we could have divided by 8 because we are not done yet. That's going to be 3/4. All right, so 3/4 needs to be turned into a percentage. Now, this is a benchmark fraction, so hopefully we know what fourths equal. If we don't know what that means, we can either divide up, right? We can always divide 4 into 3, or we can try to get our denominator into 10, 100, or 1,000. We should know that 4 times 25 is going to get me into 100, so I can multiply both by 25. That's going to give me 75 hundredths, which is 75%. 3/4 is 3/4, which is like 75 cents. So we can say 75% of the class passed the test. So if you are interested in the 6.5B readiness practice resource for the intermediate or the advanced version, or the readiness practice resource along with any other standard, you can find those by using the link in the video description.